helping your wife, there's a choice. It's the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you do that, definitely you are going to gain.
You need to start with being medically fit, especially if you have a health condition.
I lock up myself in the restroom and I gorge myself with a bottle of a drink. Who's gonna know I did that? Nobody. But then I don't do that.
Engage yourself in charity. It cleanses the soul.
What do you think about our naan bread and chicken kebab? Beautiful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Welcome to a new episode of Ramadan with Hollandia, a program that we have put together to engage our Muslim brethren on how to make the best of the holy month of Ramadan and how to make, of course, mouth-watering recipes with our Hollandia milk and yogurt variants. I am your host, Asma Gambo. Staying attentive and productive in school as a student is quite a task, more so in the month of Ramadan when we are abstaining from eating and drinking during the day. On today's episode of Ramadan with Hollandia, we shall be looking at how students can maintain an efficient study routine. That is, finding a balance between study routine and the demands of the holy month of Ramadan. Shirin zai ci gaba da zarar mun dawo daga hutun takaitaccen lokaci. Ku dakace mu. Alhamdulillah, thank you for staying tuned. Studying requires time and energy, and above all, it requires focus. How can the student maintain an efficient study routine when he has to wake up early for Suhoor? These are some of the things we shall be discussing with our guest, Malam Usman. Welcome, Malam Usman.
Thank you very much.
It's
Thanks
good
for
to have you
me.
here.
Thank you for having
Yeah,
me.
yeah, Azumi.
Happy Allah, alhamdulillah.
So, as a student, bari in tambaye ka,
Yes.
what is Ramadan like on campus?
Well, on campus, Ramadan is, first of all, is quite stressful. It's a little bit hectic based on different schedules. And then there are academic commitments, and then you meet people from different cultural backgrounds. You're fasting, there's someone next to you in class that's not fasting. And then
The person is eating,
maybe sipping his water while you're trying to pay attention and you're yawning in class. But yeah, we get to face different and so many challenges while fasting in school.
Okay, so would you say that Ramadan is the same experience for students that stay on campus and those who stay off campus? When I say off campus now, I mean those that go to school from home, right? And then those that live by themselves in their own maybe apartments or rental rooms or apartments in school.
Well, it can't be compared because if you look at it, you know, we students that stay on campus, we are there by ourselves, you know, fending for ourselves, taking care of ourselves. You have to, you know, think of what you're going to eat in the morning for Suhoor, or maybe when you break your fast, you have to save some leftovers.
The Suhoor meal, you save it for iftar.
So you have to save it for Suhoor. Yeah, and then sometimes, like, you meet people that don't even know how to cook, but then when it comes to Ramadan, you see people trying to mix up their concoctions, you know, just try to have something in their belly and try to survive, and then try to beat their routines with classes. You know, it depends because most times you wake up very early for Suhoor, and then you might have an 8 a.m. class, or you have classes the whole day from 8 to 4 p.m. and you're just there, you know, sometimes you come back from class and you don't even have time to actually sit down and prepare this meal for yourself or your friends. But then, you know, alhamdulillah, sometimes also with the Muslim community at school, you know, we get people who bring food, and then, you know, charity, people come with food for charity, and then, you know, it might be as simple as, you know, you go for Maghrib and then there's water and some dates in the masjid, just for you to, you know, quench that stress that you've been carrying on all day long.
So now, I know that you miss it, but how can you compare, you know, staying at home, observing Ramadan at home and then on campus? Give me one example of wannan abun da ya tsaya maka a rai da ya nuna da ya bambanta azumi a gida da kuma azumi a makaranta.
Well, for that, I would say God bless our mothers, our sisters, our aunts.
Allah muku albarka, Allah mana albarka dukanmu.
You know, they are very, very underrated when it comes to this period. We don't really look at how much stress they go through, how much sacrifices they make to make sure that, you know, sometimes in the family there might be 15 people fasting, and then they are also fasting. They go into the kitchen with all the scents and everything happening. They can't even taste this food, but then when it comes out, it is really, really amazing and delicious, and everyone enjoys it and has a good time. So yeah, for these little, you know, family moments and that Ramadan brings to us, well, I would really, really say thank you to our mothers and our sisters and our aunties.
Usman just said thank you to all of us, all the mothers, the aunties who make sure that iftar is on point. Okay, so I'm glad you're able to realize that and appreciate what you have when you're at home, you know, because you are away from home, so you experience it firsthand. The difference. The difference.
The difference is really, really wide and clear.
Okay, so still talking about Suhoor and iftar now, I want you to tell me now, idan ya kama kana makaranta kuma kana azumi, let me know, how do you plan your Suhoor and iftar? What do you do? How do you go about it?
Okay, for most of the time, during iftar, I try to keep some food that would last me towards Suhoor, so that with that I don't get to stress, or I don't have to stress to wake up in the morning to start cooking or start looking for what I'm going to eat for Suhoor. And then it just that's how the cycle keeps going.
So it's like a carryover from iftar meal to Suhoor.
And sometimes when we're fortunate, you know, people give us foods for free. You know, sometimes you might have a roommate or someone next door that might be generous enough, you know, to bring some food, and then, you know, you guys sit down as a family also, which it's a family you made in school. It's an academic family, and then you guys sit down and share these moments together, because these moments, you know, you don't get to experience these certain moments like Ramadan in school with different people from different ethnicities.
Okay, so I have a question now. Do you have like someone who volunteers, you know, the timekeeper to come and wake you up during Suhoor, or do you sleep off at any time, or how do you cope?
It's mostly every man for himself, because if you sleep, I mean, some guys are not generous enough to come wake you up. They might wake up, but if you're still asleep, but
but
alhamdulillah, we have our phones, zoo, like a alarm clock. You know, you put on your alarm, I will wake you up at certain times, and then if you're a deep sleeper, you can set like 10 alarms from you can start from 2:15, 2:20, and till when it's time for you to wake up for yourself.
One of them would definitely get you to wake up.
It will even disturb someone beside you. He'll wake you up.
To turn it off. Wake you up. I like that. Okay, so the discussion is getting quite interesting, but let's take a break here to see what healthy meal we have in our kitchen corner. Ku kasance tare da mu. Welcome back from our kitchen in the Mokamuku sweet and savory masa. Usman, what do you think about our masa?
Well, from the looks of it, it's definitely gonna taste really, really great. I mean, there's masa with strawberry, there's masa with dambu, and then there's masa with Hollandia yogurt sweetened also. I mean, kudos to the chefs.
Okay, that's nice. So that you're going to try it, Kena.
I will, inshallah.
Kuma in kai ai komanda shi gida saboda in judging if it tastes nice or not. I'll look forward to that. Okay, so back to our discussion now. So Usman, as a student, what practical steps do you adopt to ensure proper study planning during Ramadan?
Well, first and foremost, during Ramadan, you know, time management skills, that's where it comes to play, because your time management skills has to be top notch. There's so many activities going around campus, you know, even when it's not the month of Ramadan. And then when you now get into the month of Ramadan, where it's a holy month, you know, you're fasting, there are tafsirs, you have to say your prayers, you have to take out time, you know, even after prayers, you can sit down and then, you know, read like 4 pages every day after every salah. And then, you know, by the time the month, the Quran, and then by the time the month ends, you know, if you look at it, you'll be done with the full Quran. And then, you know, in the evenings, you can also take time to go sit down, listen to tafsir, get to educate yourself more, because you're in campus and it's not just about the Western education. You have to, you know, get yourself closer to Allah, and you're trying to fix yourself and trying to be a better person.
When the month of Ramadan falls during your exam period, are there steps that you follow to ensure proper assimilation?
Yes, well, personally for me, I'm the type of person that I would stay up all night up to the Suhoor period. So, you know, when it comes to studying, I after my Shafi'i, the witr, when I'm done with Taraweeh, I get to get some rest so that I can wake up by like 12:01 and study into the Suhoor period, and then go early, or depending on the time when I have my exams. Yeah, but then that period at night, you know, where everywhere is calm, it's quiet, almost everyone is asleep. So yeah, you use that period, or I use that period personally, to study, and it helps me so much.
And so during that period, you get your rest, as well as study, and then prayers as well.
Yes.
MashaAllah. Okay, if you are a student watching, I am sure you have learned some tips on how you can attain a balance in your academic and spiritual life during this month of Ramadan. Kafin mu zo ƙarshe, let's go to our Did You Know segment. Did you know that Zakat al-Fitr is a compulsory payment that every Muslim must make during Ramadan before the commencement of the first Eid prayers? Wato dai karatu yana shiga a lokacin Ramadan. All you require is proper planning. And with that, we come to the end of this session. Malam Usman, it's been good having you here.
Thank you.
Amma kafin ka tafi ina da kyauta maka. Oh, ga wannan kyautan daga kamfanin Hollandia.
Oh, good. Wow. With the UHT milk?
Yes.
Now I'll get to try my own masa.
You have your Hollandia UHT milk, and you try your masa.
Yeah, most definitely.
I look forward to tasting that masa.
Inshallah.
Okay, that's all we have for this session. I still remain Asma Gambo, sai mun sake haduwa.